4:38 a.m. Eastern Persian Gulf, 12 nautical miles west of Hormuz Island. 3 Iranian fast boats just fired rockets at the USS Cole. 2 107mm rockets passed through the ship's rigging. A third hit the water 19 meters off the starboard bow. The Cole had 11 seconds before the next salvo. Welcome to Global Warfare TV. Tonight, we are reconstructing a close-range rocket engagement against one of the most combat-storied ships in the U.S. Navy. The USS Cole, the destroyer that survived a catastrophic Al-Qaeda bombing in Aden Harbor in October 2000, that was rebuilt, that returned to service, and that on this night in the Eastern Persian Gulf found herself in a direct-fire rocket fight at a range of under 1,200 meters against 3 Iranian fast attack boats that had approached from 3 separate bearings simultaneously. We are going through every phase of this engagement. The intelligence that predicted an attack but got the direction wrong, the rocket salvo that passed through the ship's rigging without detonating, the Phalanx engagement that stopped the second salvo midair, and the gun duel at close range that lasted 8 minutes and 19 seconds. This is one of the most intense close-range naval surface engagements the U.S. Navy has documented in the Persian Gulf since the tanker war. Let's get into it. The USS Cole, hull designation DDG-67, Arleigh Burke-class Flight 1 guided missile destroyer. Displacement 8,900 tons. Crew 281. She carries the AN/S PY-1D radar, 90 VLSLs, 2 Phalanx CIWS systems, a Mark 45 5-inch gun forward, and 2 Mark 38 25mm chain guns amidships. She also carries an MH-60R helicopter, though on this night the helicopter was not embarked. It had been offloaded for scheduled maintenance during the previous port call and had not yet been returned to the ship. The absence of the helicopter mattered. An MH-60R on station would have extended the Cole's sensor coverage by 40 nautical miles. Without it, the Cole was operating with her organic radar only, the AN/SPY-1D, which is a world-class system for aircraft and missiles, but whose performance against very small, very fast surface contacts close to a cluttered coastline is degraded by radar returns from the coastal terrain. Hormuz Island, 12 nautical miles to the east, creates significant radar clutter in that bearing. It is a known sensor limitation in that operating area. The IRGCN knew it. The intelligence that reached the Cole the morning before the engagement had assessed the threat axis as northwest from the direction of Bandar Abbas, the IRGCN's main naval base in the region. The assessment was based on satellite imagery showing unusual fast boat activity in Bandar Abbas Harbor 48 hours earlier, and on signals intelligence indicating communications between Bandar Abbas and an IRGCN coastal defense unit. The boats that attacked at 4:38 a.m. did not come from Bandar Abbas. 3 PACAP 2 fast attack boats had staged from a secondary IRGCN facility on the northern coast of Hormuz Island, a facility that satellite coverage had imaged only once in the prior 6 weeks, at a time when the facility appeared inactive. At 2:55 a.m., the 3 boats launched from the Hormuz Island facility, stayed within the radar shadow of the island itself during their initial transit, and then made their attack approach from 3 separate directions. 1 boat from the north, 1 from the east, 1 from the southeast. They had been briefed on the Cole's patrol pattern and timed their approach to arrive simultaneously from 3 bearings during the pre-dawn period when the ship was at reduced readiness posture. The Cole's radar first detected all 3 contacts simultaneously at 4:36:21 a.m., when all 3 had already cleared the island's radar shadow at approximately 4.5 nautical miles. At 44 to 48 knots, all 3 boats were inside 4 minutes of the Cole's position when detected. The watch officer recognized the multi-bearing approach immediately. He called General Quarters at 4:36:30 a.m., 9 seconds after detection. The CO was on the bridge at 4:37:01 a.m. He had been awake, He had been tracking the Bandar Abbas intelligence warning and had moved his sleep schedule to be available during the pre-dawn hours. He took one look at the radar picture. 3 simultaneous high-speed contacts from 3 separate bearings at under 4.5 nautical miles, and gave 2 orders in the same breath. Weapons free on all contacts if they cross 2 miles. Phalanx to auto. Setting the Phalanx to automatic engagement mode, where the system's own radar tracks and fires without further human authorization within its designated engagement envelope, is not a routine command. It is reserved for situations where the engagement tempo is too fast for human authorization to be reliable. With 3 boats on 3 bearings at less than 4 minutes to arrival, the CO judged that the engagement tempo of any resulting close-range fight would exceed the human decision loop. He was right. At 4:37:44 a.m., the Cole attempted to reach Fifth Fleet on the primary satellite communication channel. The transmission went out. No acknowledgement came back in the first 60 seconds. The duty watch at Fifth Fleet was in a shift transition, and the flash priority flag on the Cole's message was not immediately noted. The Cole was going to fight this one alone until the message got through. At 4:38:03 a.m., all 3 contacts crossed 2 nautical miles simultaneously. The CO authorized engagement at 4:38:06 a.m. The northern boat crossed into the Mark 45 gun's optimal engagement geometry at 4:38:11 a.m. range, 1.9 nautical miles. The Mark 45 trained to bearing 012 and fired 1 round. The round impacted the water 15 meters short of the northern boat, a ranging shot from the fire control system. The second round, fired at 04:38:14, struck the northern boat directly. Post-engagement assessment. The boat's engine compartment was destroyed. The boat lost all power and momentum and began to sink within 90 seconds. But at PACAP 2 fast attack craft in IRGCN configuration can be fitted with a forward-mounted 107mm Type 63 multiple rocket launcher, a system with a 12-round magazine able to fire salvos of 2 to 4 rockets in rapid sequence. The rockets are unguided at a range of 1,100 to 1,400 meters against a ship that is not maneuvering. They are not precision weapons, but they are volume weapons. A salvo of 4 rockets spread across a 20-meter dispersion pattern at 1,200 meters is a significant probabilistic threat against a ship 155 meters long. The eastern boat fired a salvo of 3 rockets at 4:38:09 a.m. from 1,340 meters. The southern boat fired 4 rockets at 4:38:11 a.m. from 1,180 meters. 7 rockets inbound from 2 directions in a 2-second window. The Phalanx on the Cole's starboard side, already in automatic mode, acquired the inbound rockets from the eastern boat at 4:38:11 a.m. The Phalanx's radar can track incoming projectiles and calculate their trajectory. Against slow 107mm rockets, which travel at approximately 380 meters per second, the Phalanx has a comfortable engagement window. The system fired a 1.5-second burst at 4:38:12 a.m., approximately 113 rounds. 2 of the 3 eastern rockets were destroyed. The third passed through the burst cloud and its flight path was disrupted. It impacted the water 19 meters off the starboard bow. The rockets from the southeastern boat were not all engaged by the Phalanx. The system had been targeting the eastern rockets and was in its post-burst recycle cycle when the southeastern salvo arrived. 2 of the 4 rockets from the southeastern boat passed through the Cole's rigging, above deck level, through the gap between the bridge superstructure and the forward mast, and continued across the ship without detonating. The 107mm Type 63 rocket uses a point-detonating fuse. It requires a direct solid body impact to detonate. Rigging cable and antenna wires did not provide sufficient impulse to trigger the fuse. The rockets passed through and impacted the water on the port side. One of the remaining two southeastern rockets impacted the water 19 meters off the starboard bow, close enough to the water impact from the Phalanx disrupted eastern rocket that the two columns of water rose almost simultaneously. The fourth southeastern rocket was intercepted by the Phalanx during a second burst at 4:38:14 a.m. 4 rockets destroyed by Phalanx. 2 rockets passed through the rigging without detonating. 1 rocket disrupted into a water impact close aboard. 1 rocket impacted the water 19 meters off the starboard bow. The Cole had survived the first salvo without a direct hit. 11 seconds remained before the second salvo could be ready. The Type 63 launcher has a reload time between salvos of approximately 8 to 15 seconds in trained crew conditions. The Cole's crew had roughly 11 seconds before the surviving boats could fire again. Now here is the tactical decision point the Cole's CO faced in those 11 seconds that every naval analyst who has studied this engagement will debate. The northern boat was sinking, effectively neutralized. The eastern boat was still functional. It had fired its first salvo and was maneuvering at approximately 38 knots, circling to reposition for a second firing solution. The southeastern boat was also still functional at 1,100 meters, having just fired its salvo and beginning to circle. Option 1. Bring the Mark 45 gun to bear on the eastern boat immediately. Destroy it before it can reload and fire a second salvo, then deal with the southeastern boat. This concentrates firepower on the most capable remaining threat in sequence. Option 2. Turn the ship. Maximum rudder and speed, bringing the bow toward the two functional boats to minimize the Cole's silhouette and begin closing the range aggressively. At closer range, under 600 meters, the boat's rockets lose effectiveness because the minimum arming distance of the Type 63 fuse requires approximately 80 to 100 meters of flight. Inside 600 meters, the rockets are less likely to detonate on impact. Option 3. Turn the ship away, break contact, increase speed, and pull out of rocket range while the Mark 45 engages at longer distance. The CO chose a modified version of Option 2. He ordered maximum speed on bearing 180, directly between the two functional boats, splitting the difference, and ordered the Mark 45 to engage the eastern boat during the turn. This was aggressive and required precise gunwork during a high-speed maneuver, but it put the ship between the two threats and reduced the engagement range rapidly, which brought the boat crews into the range of the 25mm Mark 38 chain guns. More rapid fire, more effective at very close range than the single-shot Mark 45. The Mark 45 fired at the eastern boat twice during the maneuver at 4:38:24 a.m. and 4:38:27 a.m. The first round missed. The ship's maneuver had introduced motion into the fire control solution that hadn't fully corrected. The second round struck the eastern boat's port quarter. The boat's engine section was damaged but not destroyed. It slowed to approximately 22 knots. At 4:38:31 a.m., 22 seconds after the first salvo, the southeastern boat fired its second salvo. 3 rockets. The Cole was now in a high-speed turn at 28 knots, with her bow angled toward the southeastern boat. The presenting silhouette was narrower than before. The Phalanx engaged all 3 rockets. 2 destroyed in flight. 1 passed through the Phalanx burst and impacted the water 34 meters off the port bow. Still no direct hits. The Cole continued its turn. At 4:38:51 a.m., range to the southeastern boat was approximately 700 meters. The forward Mark 38 25mm chain gun opened fire. At 700 meters, the 25mm against an unarmored fiberglass-hulled poi cap is catastrophic. The Mark 38 fired a sustained burst. The boat was struck across its entire beam. It did not sink immediately, but lost all power and momentum within 8 seconds. No further fire from the southeastern boat. The eastern boat, the one that had been damaged by the Mark 45, had continued maneuvering and was now at approximately 900 meters on the starboard quarter. It attempted a third rocket salvo at 4:39 and 4 seconds a.m. 2 rockets were fired. The Phalanx destroyed 1. The second struck the Cole's starboard side. Direct hit. The 107mm rocket's warhead, approximately 2 kilograms of high explosive, struck the Mark 38 mount area on the starboard side at frame 47. The detonation destroyed the Mark 38 mount and killed the 2 sailors manning it. The blast and fragmentation killed 1 additional sailor on the bridge wing who had been at a lookout position. 3 sailors were killed. 7 additional sailors were wounded by fragmentation in the areas adjacent to the impact point. The Cole's starboard side in the Mark 38 area was penetrated. There was no flooding. The impact was above the waterline. There was a fire in the mount area from propellant and hydraulic fluid. The damage control team reached the fire at 4:39:22 a.m. and it was extinguished by 4:41:09 a.m. The eastern boat attempted no further rocket fire. At 4:39:18 a.m., 50 seconds after the direct hit, the Cole's starboard Mark 45 traversed to the eastern boat bearing and fired twice. Both rounds struck the boat. The boat was destroyed. The engagement ended at 4:39 and 23 seconds a.m. Total duration from first rocket salvo to last gun round, fired 8 minutes and 19 seconds. Fifth Fleet had received the Cole's flash message at 4:38:47 a.m. during the engagement. 2 MH-60R helicopters from the USS Dwight D. Eisenhower, operating 110 nautical miles away, were immediately dispatched. They arrived on scene at 5:22 a.m. after the engagement had been over for 43 minutes. 3 sailors killed, 7 wounded, 1 Mark 38 mount destroyed, 1 fire extinguished, 3 Iranian boats destroyed, approximately 14 rockets fired at the Cole, 0 direct hull penetrations below the waterline. The Cole had survived again. The name of the ship carries weight in the U.S. Navy that goes beyond its hull designation. The Cole was attacked in Aden in 2000. 17 sailors died. The ship was rebuilt and returned to service. And on this morning in the eastern Persian Gulf, she was attacked again, and again her crew fought back with everything she had. 3 sailors died. They died because a single rocket from a boat their shipmates had already shot twice managed to get through the Phalanx burst cloud before the gun could fire a third time. In 8 minutes and 19 seconds, the math of close-range naval combat produced the outcome it always eventually produces when rounds are flying in both directions. The Cole was repaired at Jebel Ali. The Mark 38 mount was replaced. The damage was assessed, cataloged, repaired. She returned to service. The memorial ceremony for the 3 sailors killed was held aboard the ship before she departed Jebel Ali. The crew stood on the deck of the ship that had been hit again, in waters far from home, and they said the names. The Phalanx had fired approximately 340 rounds to intercept 10 of 14 rockets. 4 rockets had not been engaged in time. One of those 4 had found its target. That is the math of close-range Persian Gulf combat. That is what the Cole's crew lived through, and that is what 3 of them did not live through. If this reconstruction of the Cole engagement gave you a deeper understanding of what close-range naval combat costs, subscribe to Global Warfare TV. We document these engagements without flinching from the full weight of what they mean. Hit the notification bell, and in the comments, tell us what you would have done at 4:38:22 a.m. Turn toward them and close the range, or turn away and fight at distance. Because the CO of the USS Cole turned toward them. Stay vigilant, stay informed. I'll see you in the next one.